Good morning, St. Louis. Welcome back to another episode of Who's Talk Mobile, where conversations get deep and intellectual. Y'all know me. I'm your host, Artemis Caldwell, and always with me as a pleasure, co-host.
Yep, your co-host, Gabe, coach, CEO, Flip St. Louis, the best real estate company in St. Louis. We about to do big things, you know. But yeah, let's get into the topic today.
Yeah,
we're talking about when they see us.
Oh man, have you seen it all the way through?
Yeah, I've seen it all the way through. From how many episodes was it? Four. Okay, yeah, I saw all 4.
Okay, about an hour apiece. Man, I just want to dive right into it. The justice system in there threw me for a complete loop. Like, especially like, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back. I don't like it how we talk now so much like black pride and black stick together, that like the character of Yusuf's mother, how she was just like so distant from, like, she just wanted her son's help. You know what I mean? And I feel like that blew me off. And then the how the prosecutor was like going after the kids, it was like ridiculous.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of crazy stuff going on in that movie. Just in that whole situation in general, man. Like, you kind of see what kind of pressure there is when you're a black teenager out here, and there are people in the justice system who just hate you just because of what you were born as, you know, and they have ill intent. And they come up with situations to put you in, into these situations like that in the justice system, so they can harm you or things like that. But this movie, when they see us, it just shows it, you know, like how the prosecutors coerce the kids against each other, and they ain't even know each other. They've never heard. These kids had never met each other except for, was it Yusuf and Corey.
Yeah.
But the rest of them had never met each other. And, you know, we knew that because they were like, I don't know who that is. You know,
they all met in the precinct.
Yeah. That's funny. They didn't meet each other until they got into the precinct together, into that holding cell.
And they was like, after I lied on you. Like,
right.
I don't even know who you are. Yeah, I feel that, bro. Man. I want to say, like, it was just for them to have done what they done. They beat the kid, like beat them up.
Yeah, beat the kids up, and then they had the kids They had what was his name? Who got hit in the face by the cop in the beginning of the first episode?
Oh man, I'm trying to remember all their names.
So we got Corey, Yusuf.
Antron.
Yep, Antron.
I can't remember the other two.
Yeah, man, I can't either.
But he was actually the youngest.
Yeah, he was
put on trial and then questioned without your parents being there. It was, and then one of the other guys, I again lose his name, the light skinned dude. He actually went along with, like, off rip, went along with the plea deal. You know what I mean? And it was just like, oh, don't worry about it, I'm taking care of it, this, that, and the third. And it was just like, man, I can't believe, like, not to say that our justice system has not done messed up things, or, you know what I mean, or like obscure justice all the way, because we can see that right now through the presidency of our, 45th President Donald Trump. But it's like, these are children.
Right.
You know what I mean? Corey was the oldest out of 16.
Yeah, and then they tried him as an adult.
And he spent, how many years?
He spent quite some time at Rikers Island.
Yeah, I believe it's like 16?
Yeah. And it showed at the end at the last episode, it showed what Corey went through, because he didn't get sent to the same prison that the other kids got sent to. Yeah. So he was sent into the prison with the adults. And
already going into there, people didn't like him, or
just because of the situation, because of how the media portrayed them. There were ads out there paid for by Donald Trump calling for the death penalty of these kids. So they were just portraying these kids as just like these crazed criminals.
And what was that, like 85,000?
Yeah, he spent a lot of money. He spent some money on that. But they were just portraying these kids as these, crazed criminals or whatever to kind of justify whatever happened to them in jail.
Yeah. And she called it wilding, whatever.
Yeah.
Wilding.
She was just using the term that the kids were using.
Right.
And she flipped that term into something negative. They knew what they were doing. It's if you know anything about Germany and the Nazis, what they did was they used the media to
portray the Jewish to be bad.
Yeah, to portray the Jewish people in a negative light, to justify what they did to them.
Yeah.
So in order to justify harming somebody, you have to portray to the public that this person is justifiable in being harmed. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they use the media as. And the difference between then and now is because back then, media was just all TV, radio, and all of that, newspapers.
Yeah.
But now we got social media. Now we have an opportunity to create podcasts like Who Is, and Who's Talks, and other podcasts out there to kind of control our own narrative and put our own, voices out there. Now
authenticity.
Yep. Shout out to them, and even if that particular situation does happen again, we got the opportunity to control the narrative by what we put out into the media. So I think we should be using that to our own advantage.
Okay.
We should be using that to our own advantage, controlling our own narrative.
Yeah.
And that's power in that.
I feel that.
We can change a lot of things just by doing that, just by controlling the narrative.
Let me ask you this. What do you think put them at a disadvantage besides their skin color and their age?
Well, I mean, this is gonna relate back to their age, but they didn't know any better.
Okay.
It's like,
so their behavior.
Yeah, so it's like you know that this child is scared. You know that all he wants to do is go home. So you gonna bait him going home. You gonna use what he wants most to get him to do whatever you want him to do.
Right.
And what they wanted them to do is sign a statement or sign a confession statement saying that they did this, so they can put him in jail.
Right.
So, but they didn't know that. That's why they had to separate them, because they didn't know that they just didn't have to say anything.
Yeah. See, and I felt that you was going on the initial on why everybody was there. They just heard it was gonna be fun. You know what I mean? And some people was going like in the crosser. You know what I mean? One of the guys was going to go to a party, but the whole group all had different reasons on not necessarily gathering in the park, but just actually coming through the park. You know what I mean? And it was just like, man, y'all really played that. I was leaning on toward the education factor, like you said. They didn't know anything. You know what I mean? We as black people, I would say, the law is foreign to us. You know what I mean? Like, we know our rights, but we really don't care to know them, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Until something happens to where now that we have to become conscious and know about it.
I think in certain situations, a lot of times we just let our emotions kind of take over. Like, you kind of see, a lot of times when people deal with black people interact with the police, they're emotional. You got people yelling, you got people screaming, and that's not really doing anything but just letting them know that you're scared.
Okay.
Like, it was a video a video of these cats in LA, and the police pulled over this group of black men in a car, and I don't know, just out of nowhere, it was just a whole bunch of black folks just out there when the police pulled these, this group of people over in the car. And really, they was like, hey, because they knew that the police was on some harassing stuff, because I think some other things happened out there in LA.
Okay.
So they knew what was going on, and they was like, hey, y'all need to leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they was real calm about it, real cool about it. It was like, hey, look, y'all need to get up out of here, because we know what y'all on. Get up out of here.
Okay.
And the police left. And the police left because they knew that they didn't know what them cats was going to do.
Right.
But if you running around yelling and screaming and scared and all of that, they like, okay, we can terrorize these folks.
Right. Huh. And see, I was gonna say, do you think it's like the culture around police officers is just so, like, the police and blacks, I feel that they is just like, it's always gonna be tension there because of the history behind it. You feel me? And then on top of that, what you was just explaining to me, what I was feeling, I do feel like we need the Black Panther Party to come back and more so establish pretty much a code of conduct.
I wouldn't even say we need the Black Panther Party to come back. We
Not
just
as far as that,
we
but-
just need to raise our future generations with that code.
Yeah.
We just need to develop that and just raise our kids with that code. That's
Yeah.
the issue that we've had in the past. We just haven't been raising the generations the way that we've supposed to been raising them, or like we have we've done previously.
Yeah. And see that now where Who Is will come into play is because of the code of harmony. We at least have a ground structure of how to set goals, how to move forward, create confidence and self-assurance when stuck or dealing with the next part of your life. You know what I mean? That'd be for anybody actually, and this is just lay down foundation for us at least to grow in that fashion. So for Who Is, I feel like my part, it was, and not is, but is to make people better. I like to make people like feel good, you know what I mean? And so, and also educated. And so with this, it's just like, man, I really put, like, my best foot forward when actually trying to go out, get these topics and talk to y'all. It just be like, man, you know what I mean? So with that being said, bro, it's just like, why with our attitudes on everything, we can't really focus as, not necessarily as a race or as a people. It's just the focus factor of what it is that we have to do hasn't been trained, cultivated, and like really left up to the individual. You feel me? Because it's like now we're all on the tip of, oh, you gotta teach yourself how to do something, or do go get on your own. And this is like, and that's actually praise individual success, and it's just like going back to, like, I know I was on a little tangent, but for When They See Us, it's just like the negative stereotype that has been portrayed upon black people, especially black men, it hit home when we talk about it so much, because we're in St. Louis, bro, that we have the most unsolved homicides. And it's like, that could happen to my little brother. He's 14. You know what I mean? That could happen to anybody, actually. You know what I mean? And it's just that realization scares me into more so fearing the police because of what they're capable of. It's like not necessarily a respectable fear, but it's a fear out of, I know y'all messed up, so I gotta tread softly with you.
And what you gotta understand is that's the whole thing, is to terrorize you, to make you fear them because they fear you.
Yeah.
If you gotta reign with terror, then there's something on your end that's not right with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you gotta terrorize people to make people respects you to have power or in control, then you don't really have power and true power and control.
For real, yeah.
You know, you don't have true power if you got to terrorize somebody, interfering you into giving you power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
so
I feel like that's when you get that rebellion, like all the time.
Yeah, a rebellion always comes out of that.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much that people can take.
Yeah.
You know, it's only so much that any creature can take.
Yeah,
without doing something.
Because honestly, though, I feel like when movies or scenes like this come out, I try to stay, not necessarily try to stay away from them, but try to be, like you said, less emotional, because I know it's a horrible truth that, like, people don't talk about, whatnot. And it's just, like, on the tip of, we really need to address a whole lot of social issues to people, you know?
Yeah. It's some things that we just need to really just have a true, honest, uncut conversation about. Like, we need to have a true and honest conversation about white supremacy and the threat that it is to black society. You know, it's a lot bigger than just what people think the Ku Klux Klan and, you know, skinheads or whatever just happened down at Charlottesville. It's a lot bigger and it's a lot deeper than that, man. And, like, for real, you know, it's kind of getting more intense, you know, because they're using law enforcement as a way to practice project those views onto us. You know, and use violence against us. They're using law enforcement as a way to get away with it. You know, but
let me ask you, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know, we just gotta be understanding and aware. I say practice your Second Amendment rights. In the Constitution, it says that we do have the right to form a militia against a force that is coming against us. You know what I'm saying? We have that right, not just in the Constitution, but we have a God-given right to protect ourselves. So, you know, practice the right to protect yourself, and, you know, just be aware. Watch out for your friends. Watch out for your family.
Where do you think we can have these meetings and talks at?
Anywhere. You know, we can have them at a park. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be it shouldn't have to be, you know, an event to bring something, to bring this conversation about. It shouldn't have to be an event where we got food, mimosas, and drinks and all of that. Nah, like, with something like this, man, this just got to be straight up just business. Like, all right, we going to get together and we going to put our minds together and we going to figure out a solution on how to fix this problem. You know, that's what it should be. And you can do that anywhere, you know. You can do it at a park. You can do it in anywhere. Don't matter, you know. Don't really matter.
Okay. And see, bro, like, I feel like, we need more. I don't know, bro, because, like, it was just on the tip of, like, we need more action, because I feel like we have looked at the older generation has looked at the civil rights movement as a point of end. Like, I heard a lot of people, even parenting wise, would say, like, I've done my part, I'm done, boom. And then that means I'm just, you on your own now. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like that ending point between generation to generation. That's where it's just like where I see like a little bit of that between Yusuf mom and her disconnection from the other boys.
Now, what you do have to understand about the civil rights movement, that was just a deception tactic. Like, the civil rights only just covered up racism. It didn't change it. It just covered it up.
How so? Like,
it just said that, okay, well, we ain't gonna beat you in the street, you know, we ain't gonna...
But they did.
after the bill was signed, after the Civil Rights Movement. You know, after everything was over, after 1968, when the Civil Rights Bill was signed, the bill just basically said, we're not going to be overt with our racism anymore. You know, we're not going to have whites only water fountains.
Gotcha.
We're not going to have all of this.
Okay.
Whites only can come here. We're not gonna lynch you if you're in our town after 6 o'clock anymore. You know, but we're gonna practice racism quietly. We're gonna practice racism other ways. We're gonna exclude you from politics. We're gonna exclude you from our economics, or we're just only gonna let you have a small role in it. We're just going to exclude you from all of these other things. But it's a policy called benign neglect. Look that up.
Say it again.
Benign neglect.
Benign neglect.
And it's basically a policy that just says that we're not going to talk about black people's issues. So, understanding that, we just got to be serious about handling our own issues. You know, they try to deflect from issues like reparations, you know what I'm saying? They're talking about having studies on reparations and finding out like the history and researching reparations. Like, what is there to research?
Right. Give me this, period. That's how I feel with reparations. Give me this, and now I'm not looking up nothing.
Right. There's nothing to discuss about reparations.
Yeah.
There's nothing to study about reparations.
Because I feel like the more I study, the more you got to give me.
Yes, the more I study, the more I'm going to find out, like, okay, well, I didn't know you owed me this much money.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Because at first I was going to say, just give me $1,000.
Matter of fact, you just changed my mind on that. We should study. We should study and just find out exactly how much money y'all really owe.
How much money is, not even money. Like, what is accredited? Like, because now, going back to when they see us, you have stolen life. Do not give me $41 million and be like, oh, okay, my bad, here you go, I'm done. No, I need some more than that, because like what the guys growing up like had to go through going through like the sex predator, having to go to that class and I'm falsely accused, you know what I mean? Like, that stuff is traumatizing. And then you're gonna give me money. Money does not buy back time. Does not buy back. In one of the episodes, the guy girlfriend was just like, she didn't, not necessarily say she didn't get what she want, but they like an argument arose and she was just like, I know what you do. Like, what? Like, she was like, I know what you do to women when they don't go your way. And she just referring to the case, and it was just like, dang, I can't even say anything back to you. You know what I mean? But like, someone has to be paid. Like, I need my reparations for that. That's love. You know? So
and it's like, just the whole history of black Americans in this country in general is like, it's a lot that I ain't gonna say is owed to us, but I'm gonna say is rightfully ours.
I feel that. Yeah, because, man, as like, what was it, 1984, 83 when it happened?
1989.
89. And then, like, when did Emmett Till die? Like,
Emmett Till was killed in 1954. That's when the Civil Rights Movement started.
Yeah. So, what, not even 30 years later? You know what I mean? Like, 30, it's like, we trial young boys and treat them like this. You know what I mean? Like, that's the progression that we came from.
Like I said, it didn't change it. It just put a mask on it, right? And with Donald Trump, the mask is starting to come off now.
I feel like you get like a little bit of peekaboo. You know what I mean?
It's starting to come off now. Like, we're starting to see, like, ain't nothing changed, because the Charlottesville thing, for example, you know, what was that all about if everything changed?
Oh man, yeah.
You know, what was that all about?
And then also didn't they didn't want to like change their flag or something? Like it was like a Confederate flag, and they was just like, yeah, no, we ain't gonna change it because that shows our Southern heritage, like that. And then I was just like, man, that's like ridiculous. But like, do you know what they stood for? You know what I mean? Like that.
And to be honest, I would rather have my racism on a platter. I'd rather have it just out in the open. I'd rather know who's racist and who's not. I don't want to be in a situation where I got to wonder.
Yeah.
Or where I could possibly be being deceived, you know? I'd rather just know from jump.
I feel that. I mean, well, brother, this has been a very informative episode. I'm glad you, glad I had you, man. As always, it's always great to have you around, brother. We signing out, y'all. Who's Talk? Please subscribe, like, comment. Let us know what you think about the movie or the series. Let us know what you think about everything we talked about today. Again, great episode. If you didn't go see it, go see it. It's on Netflix. It's a special called When They See Us. Yeah, we out. I'm Artemis.
Comment, like, subscribe.
Please.
Thank you.